Nostalgia. Who doesn't like singing about the good old days when times were simpler? You always see it in the comments of old media, seeing someone comment something like, "Back before everything used to suck!" But nostalgia is just a feeling, a nice feeling sometimes. For some media, an entire generation can feel nostalgic for stuff they've never heard before. Like, I've never played Sonic Adventures 2 before, but when I played it for the first time and heard the soundtrack for the first stage, it felt super nostalgic to me. If you were born around the 90s or early 2000s, you should listen to it. It feels super nostalgic, especially in a juvenile type of way. Makes me feel like an 8-year-old in the mid-2000s again. And this is where the problem lies. Of course, there is nothing wrong with watching old media or reminiscing about the past. But with how connected people are nowadays, and you can pretty much watch anything you want with just a search button away, means that it's really easy to stay stuck in the past, especially when there are always comments talking about how much better the past was. It gives a false reality.
Want to go back to a simpler time when men were men and women had no say, content to love, honor and obey.
Of course, legit issues in the present seem quite intense, especially during times like COVID when the political and economic tensions are increasing. But one thing you have to realize is that running away from it by watching or listening to old media isn't good. Those issues aren't disappearing. And if everyone is obsessed with the past, those issues are never going to be solved. It's super easy now to be addicted to the past. The algorithm will suggest you more old stuff over and over again, and suggest YouTubers that make nostalgia-based videos. And while you might be completely convinced that going into a time machine back to whatever time will fix all the problems you have in your mind, it might be fun for a week or so, but after that you'll want to go back to the present. There's just something so unhealthy about people en masse constantly talking about how the past was fantastic and supposedly everyone got along with each other more. Like, yeah, if you were younger it definitely feels that way, but that's just because when you were a kid you weren't aware of all the issues around you. Like for me and my late 90s and 2000s nostalgia, it sounds nice if you listen to the music, anime and films from those times, but the problem is that it's bollocks. 9/11 happened, mass surveillance and a severe economic crash in 2008 happened, that is still affecting things today. The only real difference now is that people have the internet. We had that in the 2000s too, but in the mid-2010s pretty much everyone was on the internet because of smartphones and got exposed to all kinds of niches. People aren't rude or more offended now. You're just connected with more people that enables shitty behavior. Not only from different subcultures, but of different cultures and opinions from all around the world. Also because of this, certain things can be more controversial than in other places, but you can't understand that context immediately through social media. That's why you see a lot of people write shit like, "Sarcasm satire doesn't exist anymore, it died years ago." No, it's just that it's harder to detect through text, and especially if the receiver is not a native English speaker. Remember, in some languages sarcasm doesn't really work. Also because how the internet inherently works with the 1% rule means that only 1% of the population is actively making content. 99% are lurkers. Don't believe me? Look at how many views this video has compared to the interactions. Also, within that 1%, only 1% of that actually creates new opinions or takes. This is also the reason why you often see the exact same opinion repeated over and over and over again. And I've noticed both the old and the young aren't aware of those facts at all. And no, it's not just Twitter. I know that opinion is spammed everywhere, including on Twitter itself, but it's everywhere on the internet. Hell, 4chan and all those other dodgy forum sites are a lot worse. But that doesn't get any attention because social media companies would rather throw Twitter under the bus over actually, facing responsibility for fucking up society globally. In some ways, the present is a lot better for reminiscing about the past. Think about it. Because of the internet, we can watch, play, listen to a lot of stuff only one search button away. The possibilities of what you want to watch are endless. You can read reviews of old stuff, you can search for it easier, and even if you aren't a pirate, you can still use selling services like eBay to get more niche items from all over the globe. Archive.com has hentai on there. Not only that, but also ISOs and things that are copyright infringements. You can preserve pretty much anything you want. Those are all things we did not have in the past. Sure, in the 2000s and 2010s we did have all that stuff, but it wasn't as established and mainstream as it is now. Also, people of those nerd/otaku communities aren't aware that in the West, nerd culture like gaming or anime are a lot less stigmatized now. In fact, you probably wouldn't be a gamer or weeb if it wasn't for the destigmatization of nerds. Recently I got into Sega Dreamcast video games, a game console I have mild memories of being on sale because it was a discontinued product, but when I played it, not only did I get to enjoy more songs of The Offspring because of Crazy Taxi, but got to eat an untouched cake of the past I've never tried before. While enjoying all of this newly found nostalgia, made me realize how lucky I was for being born in the age I was. I can listen, play, and watch all of this stuff easily now. Trust me, if you went back in time and told someone from the mid-2000s you could do all of this stuff and enjoy all the games from the future, they would be really jealous. This isn't only young people that are doing this. You would be surprised how many out-of-touch old people are doing this without realizing it. Remember, if it wasn't for living in the present, you couldn't even watch this video and hear me say all this stuff. Be grateful for us all living in this time. We wouldn't have the Taiwanese math teacher on Pornhub if we were living in the 2000s. And then we have the 9th movie of Shin-chan. Not only is that film hilarious, but it really does capture the whole nostalgia blindness thing. Yeah, no one will know about the... Wait. Oh, fuck you, accented cinema. Yeah, I watched this film like a year before that video came out, but still a good video. The premise of the film is that all the adults turn blind in nostalgia and pretend like they're children again, and everything looks like the 60s and 70s Japan. It talks about nostalgia blindness quite well. The only reason why I watched this film of Shin-chan was because of the description. Not only was this oddly nostalgic for me, being Shin-chan, an anime I remember from the past and the old school animation style, makes the nostalgia blindness thing feel completely fitting for me. And look, sometimes the past does legitimately have better way of doing things, but why not improve the present from our experiences of the past and not doing the stuff that sucked? Yeah, sure, let's party like it's 2005, I'm up for that. But we still live in the present, and all of our issues still exist. Also, think about all your friends, family, and shit you met within the recent years. It's insane how the internet made people so obsessed with rubbish that actually isn't really important for them. And don't you think people in 2040 or something would want to live in the 2020s? Sounds a bit hard to realize, but it wouldn't surprise me in 2 decades from now there are going to be early internet LARPers. Let's just be grateful over time it gets easier to enjoy the past, and if everyone is reminiscing about the past, how the hell are we supposed to reminisce about the present in the future? Sure, sometimes the present can be rough, and it's okay to relax and think about fun times in the past, but we have to stay realistic and enjoy the present at the same time. Not only do we get to enjoy media in a less stressed way then, but we can potentially actually solve societal issues instead of running away from them. Most social media algorithms are designed to distract you from real issues on purposely. But hey, what period are you guys nostalgic for? Do you miss it? Or do you think good riddance? Let me know in the comments, fellas! So, I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to dominate the sub button, and I'll see you guys next time with whatever I make. Keep watching hentai.